This is about to be so scuffed. Oh my god. What's going on, Tamers? East here. Yeah, I'm not at home right now, as you probably would have guessed. I am currently at a beach house with my wife and my brother-in-law. And yeah, I did not expect to be here with the Banlist drop, but here we are. And so we're just going to do it one take, super scuffed edition, and that's just what it's going to have to be. Apologies in advance. But as far as the Banlist is concerned, pretty dang banging Banlist. I was kind of thinking maybe Bandai did what they did before with the Greymon X antibody, and we just got like one rando card hit, and like that was it. And I was pleasantly wrong. I was pleasantly surprised to see that I was wrong. You know, today when I say ban die, I really feel each part of that, the ban and the die part, because all the stuff that we probably wanted to die died, and all the stuff that wanted to get banned and restricted pretty much got banned and restricted. Starting with Ukomon, the promo version. I think I was hoping for a pair restriction, so you have to choose, but it's fair to say that the memory version of the Ukomon was probably the most egregious version of those two cards. The search being untouched means that now decks that don't have some dedicated search with level 3 still have some option to search with, so that's good to see. And now you're limited to only one memory Ukomon per deck. In the same vein, it's good to see them hitting the Rui Tamer as well. A lot of cards that ran the double Ukomon engine, some of them ran Rui, but the ones that didn't run Ukomon, the decks that didn't run Ukomon, some of them did run Rui, but they were more aggressive, things like Gabu Bond and the Agu Bond rush decks. So it's good to see that Rui got hit, because if you hit the Ukomon engine, then like I said in my prediction video, people just kind of flock to the Rui card, and as a result, Bandai hit him as well. So it's good to see that the game overall will probably be slowing down as a result of these two touches. Outside of that, we also got a Numon X antibody hit, which I think most folks were either gunning for Numon X or Monzaimon X antibody to get hit, because the Numon deck right now, as everybody knows, is incredibly powerful. I was really hoping myself personally with that the Monzaimon would be touched. That way the deck could still have some speed on board, but they had no way to really do like big removal. The Numon X antibody getting hit, for me, feels a little bit like a dice roll, where you can still get high rolled if they find the Numon X early on in the game, and they can use it to recycle many times over. The one thing that I guess won't happen anymore is like them having two Numon X's and sources on board. That's basically been cut away with the restricting that card to one, so they can only at one time like replenish one Digimon in a go. So it's good to see that hit. I mean, again, I was hoping for either Monzaimon X or him, and so seeing him touch plus the Ukomons is maybe enough to slow the Numon deck down entirely. Let's see, moving on, another big one was going to be, we had to hit Magnamon X antibody in some way. Now, he was running in, of course, the vaccine deck, Armor Vaccine, and the blue version of Magnamon, using like the Vmon base and the Magnamon cards. And it's good to see that they touched Awakening of the Golden Knight. I think it's good that that deck has to now pay for its evolution cost in some degree, whether you're running either of those bases, blue or yellow. In the case of yellow, you only have one per deck, so you have to really be considerate of when you use that card. Although you do still have access to Emissary of Hope. We'll get to that one a little bit later. But only having one Awakening Golden Knight in the blue base means that now you really have to consider when to spin that card. And I'm glad to see that now that becomes a more impactful choice in the game. So Awakening the Golden Knight happens, which means now Magnamon X has to be paid for in most cases. And yeah, speaking of the Emissary of Hope, let's talk about that on the other side for the vaccine deck. Now, this is actually a really smart choice by Bandai. I think that this was something that I hadn't considered. So Emissary of Hope, while being a one-cost evolve card from your security to pretty much any Digimon you want, it did have the caveat that you needed to have a TK Tamer down in order to actually get a recovery after that. And by them hitting the 3-cost BT14 TK Tamer, now there are less TKs, I guess, in the overall pool, and all the other TKs at this point are more expensive in cost, which means now if you want to get that recovery from Emissary of Hope, you have to play a little bit slower and spend a turn getting that TK Tamer down before you can actually make another big move. And I thought that was super clever. Now, and also the other TK choices aren't that great. So they're really giving up a lot now if they really want the recovery from Emissary of Hope. Now it's just like, okay, I evolve and like there's no recovery after that. And that's kind of scary for them, I think. Especially because they're already spending security to like sometimes like make the Magnamon X become active again, excuse me. So yeah, it's good to see that now those Emissary of Hopes, while having one cost, do feel like they have a cost associated with the security being lost if you don't have the TK Tamer up, if you didn't spend the time to get one down early on. Yeah, whereas the old one, you could just like stack security at the same time to make sure that the Emissary of Hope always hit or your Patamon always hit. Now you have to like kind of blindly go in there and like just hope that something is good to evolve into, and then that be it. Let's see. So we talked about Ukomon, we talked about Numon, we talked about Magnamon. Oh yeah, out of left field, there's always one card, right? Like something that no one's really looking at. And this time, you know, usually it's a green card for some reason, but this time it was Hammer Spark, the starter deck Hammer Spark card. And I think that's maybe a nod to them wanting to do something about Ancient Garurumon in some way, whether you're running the Gabumon version of the deck or the Ancient Garurumon hybrid version of the deck. I don't know how much the hybrid version used, but there was 4 Hammer Sparks in the Gabumon deck, so I mean this is a definite nod to them from Bandai saying, okay, like you're on our radar. Maybe it slows down the hybrid version, although again I don't think they really use this card. So yeah, again, Gabumon being slower is great. I think that's a really egregious deck if lots of other things are unchecked. But I'm still kind of scratching my head like why they would do this otherwise. Yeah, that's my best guess though. And also, it seems like with all this like wolf hate, surprisingly, Mirage Galgamon, the Wolf of Wall Street at this point, because his stonks are crazy, didn't get touched, which is cool to see, I suppose. If you're a Mirage Galgamon fan out there, you may use him a little bit longer. And then also, Gabumon came off of the restricted list, so yeah, I think maybe the knee-jerk reaction from Bandai when they hit Apocalypse and Anubismon was like, okay, like all the Gabumon stuff has to go, and they may have realized, okay, maybe that was a little too much, so they pulled at least one off. And yeah, that's about it. No, hey, what's up? Hey. Just recording, yeah. My brother-in-law just walked in. I just came back from the onsen. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty good balance. I think all the sane people got what they wanted. I think the folks in the States, you might have to put up with Imperial Dramon and maybe Dorogoromon for a bit before Mother comes out. But I don't think that's so bad. Oh yeah, speaking of, whereas we thought this list was only going to be for Japan because they announced the announcement for Japan only, like today, the English versions of the restricted list announcements came out before the Japanese version did, which is really weird. So it looks like you folks are also getting this updated restricted list at the same time we are, which is cool to see. I kind of wish that they had communicated that maybe a little bit beforehand, maybe along with the Japanese version of the game, but I guess we're all playing the same game at this point. You guys are still a couple sets behind, but wait until you get Mother plus Shoto and Imperial Dramon. I promise you, becomes less of an issue. So yeah, if you don't like Imperial Dramon, if you're mad about that, just wait a little bit. They're already doing releases for EX7, which means that it's going to be coming out, I assume, within like the next month or so. So just a month, it's fine. Just play whatever you want for a month, just chill, and then when Mother Shoto comes out, you probably don't have to deal with Imperial Dramon as much anymore. So yeah, that's pretty much it going to be for this. Again, sorry this is so scuffed. Again, I didn't really plan to be here, but here we are. Yeah, let me know what you folks thought about the ban list as well. I think most folks are pretty happy. Let me know if there's something that you thought was going to get hit that didn't get hit, or they didn't talk about it at all, or something that didn't come off the list. I know all you Greymon X fans out there, myself included, even though I kind of knew it wasn't coming off. We're really hoping that he would come off the list. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. Anyways, folks, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go to the onsen. And yeah, before you get out of here, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you next one. Take care. Bye-bye.